Right, quick video today inspired by Trainer Road who had some paper about does core stability actually increase performance on the bike. They don't know what they said. It was 40 minutes long. I can't bother to listen to a 40-minute podcast on a paper, but I thought we'd go through some interesting articles. I actually think there's something new in the literature published this year which is exciting. So anyway, relationship between cycling mechanics core stability. This paper did some studies about hip, knee and ankle joint kinematic and pedaling data. Basically said they did a ramp test, no significant differences were demonstrating for pedal forces. So this paper, core is not great. Then we've got this paper here. Again, it says this does core stabilization exercise enhance cycling efficiency. This study, again, 8 weeks long, so decently long. You can see the exercises here: plank, side plank, bird dog, Superman, cycling crunch, pulse. If you know what they are, just Google them. Obviously, they'll come up. And then they did some kind of steady state oxygen uptake and general efficiency. You could see the efficiency did not increase. So basically, it doesn't really matter if you did the core exercise, it doesn't increase your efficiency. So it's like, okay, the conclusion is core is useless. That's generally my assumption, that it is useless. Anyway, this paper here is the one that we're going to talk about today, because the conclusion is different to what I'm going to say. So it compares strength training to core to nothing. Strength's the best, obviously, then core, then nothing. And I guess is what it's trying to say is like, don't do core training, it's a waste of time. But I actually think that's not true. So you can see here we've got some 5 seconds powers. It's all very confusing. But basically you've got 3 groups of 12 people. They did 12 weeks of training. The issue is they only did zone 2, the people who did no training. So that's kind of irrelevant. The level of them is relatively high. They've got a threshold of 5 watts per kilo. So they're not like nothing, but they're also not world class either. So anyway, this is the kind of table that's interesting in my opinion. So you can see the cycling only group basically get worse or slightly better. Somehow they get slightly better on their 1 minute power, but worse on their sprint. Ignore that table. It's not irrelevant. The thing we want to look at is this here. So it's quite significant, this. We get almost half a watt per kilo increase on your 5 second power by only doing core. Now that's pretty well. We'll get into what the core is, but that's pretty good. The 60 second power, yeah, okay, it's getting a bit more shaky. 0.07, if you multiply that by like 60 kilos, for example, you're still talking about 7 watts. It's not like insignificant, but it's not nothing. But obviously this is actually like 30 watts. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot indeed. So, if you could increase your 5 second power by 30 watts, and I'm going to show you what you have to do. Obviously, it might not transpose. Then, that'd be pretty good. Again, the 5 minutes, I don't think that's that much. But the other promising thing, as always shown, is that the cycling and strength, this is just zone 2 in strength. Like they got significantly. So you can see for 5 for 20, it's going to 5.21. So 0.21 watt per kilo. Like these people are well trained. So the thing that's actually interesting is what exercise they did. I believe we have to scroll up. So if we go into the core training first, so you'll see they didn't do a lot. They did a glute bridge, they did a plank, and they did a prone back extension where you kind of lie on your front and do like a disc-shaped activity. So they would consist of 2 second concentric phase, 2 second isometric phase, and 4 second eccentric phase for the glute bridge. So not very long. 10 repetitions for each set. The abdominal plank was maintained for 30 seconds. 8 sets of each exercise perform the 6 second rest. So you can see like actually it's not very long, this intervention. This is possible to do at home. This is why it's big. It's possible to do a glute bridge, a plank and the prone back extension twice a week, and you'll gain 30 watts if you're 60 kilo on your sprint. If you're 8 kilo, 40 watts. I think that's a no-brainer. I actually really think it is. And I think the conclusion from me from this study is really different from everyone else. I know if you go to the gym, you get better. That's just, everyone knows that. That's just standard stuff. But obviously, it's going to sacrifice your riding, maybe. This isn't going to sacrifice anything. If you want to get your sprint better, I think it's a no-brainer doing this, to be honest. I also think it's a no-brainer going to the gym. But it does seem like extremely easy. That would be my thing. The strength training was the standard run stat, half squat, leg press once. It was single leg, 1 leg hip flexion, which is like basically it's like a reverse of a lunge. You pull your leg up like you're doing a pedal stroke connected to weight, and ankle plantar flexion is like calf stuff. That's supposed to help your sprint stuff. This was again only twice a week, Monday, Wednesday, 3 minute rest between each set. 12 weeks of intervention. They did 6 rep max sets until failure, which is actually quite harsh. But anyway, still, that's basically the conclusion. The conclusion is you could gain half wall per kilo on your sprint, not your threshold, half wall per kilo on your sprint by just doing some core. So yeah, pretty wild, really. I think, there's going to be the whole confidence of the study and everything else. This this thing is kind of maybe the interesting. They had a reduction, but it still went up. I love this. This could be related to the fact no sprints performed during the study. It's obviously if you don't sprint, you're going to get worse. But it does say here, sprinting power is not normally the main objective in preparatory phase of the annual training cycle. Yeah, true, but it's easy. So I do think it's I don't know, there's a lot of chat here, but I think it's a no-brainer. It's so easy to do. There's no downside except 5-10 minutes of your life 2 days a week, and you could gain a good amount on your sprint, it seems. So anyway, I think if you have no time at all, you don't do anything. Probably maybe go to the gym. If you have unlimited time, gym. And if you have a little bit of time, definitely do core. Anyway, that's my conclusion. Let me know what you think below. Maybe I'm being too optimistic on this study and actually the core's can do nothing. But yeah, it seems pretty wild in my head. But anyway, cheers for watching. Hope you enjoy. And I'll see you in the next one.